Hello everyone and welcome to the Manc Podcast, a really big Manchester podcast brought to you by the lovely people of Manchester and a special guest each week. We're going to bring our special guest over in you've been exercising today, haven't you?
I have, doing my bit.
It's Simon Wood. Simon, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm Joe. I've not even introduced myself. Steph's here
Steph.
as well.
Hiya.
Tim's there, the regular cast. And this week's episode is all about Simon, all about his amazing work that we're going to get into in a second. We're going to bring you some Manchester stories. We've got Snack of the Week, which is...
I'm looking forward to that. Having just been in the gym, I'm starving.
I won last week as well. And also we're going to do Mastermind, putting Simon to the test. But it's a nice way to put you to the test. Simon, how's things been, first of all?
It's all right. January's been January, I
Yeah.
guess. You know, we've been working hard at the restaurant, trying to tick over, and like many restaurants, doing at-home boxes and things like that, which is, you know, it's keeping some of the rent paid, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Keeps our name out there, keeps one or two chefs with the hand in, myself included, and keeps people busy at home with the tasty menus at home and stuff like that are quite unique and it's enjoyable. So, you know, that's been good. And then we started the Feeding Families for 30 initiative after the what can only be described as disaster of the food parcels that were sent out by the government. Did you see that? Half a pepper in one box?
That was crazy. Some of this stuff was crazy.
Which person stood there and thought, I'm going to cut that in half and split it between two?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Something that I know fellow Marcus Rashford as well brought up, and people like yourself stood up against it. So we'll get into that a bit more down in the interview, because I know it's someone's story of the week.
Okay.
That's you, Tim. But we will do our Manc story of the week, and that is when we go onto the Manc website, themanc.com, pick our favourite story and share it with everyone. Steph, what have we got?
So, mine's unfortunately COVID related, but it's good news, I promise. Every care home resident in Manchester has had their first vaccination.
That is an amazing...
So, we're on the road to success, I guess. But obviously you need your second dose, but it's really good to hear that everyone's getting the doses now. So, could be on the way to freedom.
On the way to freedom. That would be wonderful. So that is,
hopefully,
highlighted on the Manc.com. Make sure you go check that out. So spread some good news as well.
Yeah.
Because it's all like, oh, it's all right. My Manc story of the week is a Manchester company, Boohoo. Do you shop at Boohoo?
Sometimes.
Do you shop Boohoo,
all
men?
the time, yeah.
Yeah. Do you love it? Yeah.
Yeah. Where else are you going to get my pleather flares from?
Well, they have rescued Debenhams. So Debenhams, there's a big one in Manchester, isn't there? That was looking like it was going to go under, but Boo have come in and they have bought Debenhams, they've acquired them, and now they're going to be saving them from going under. And that Manchester company started way back when. They have got the offices in the centre of town, and now they've got to their name Debenhams, as well as loads of other. They're like a force to be reckoned with.
Debenhams.
Pardon?
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Tim made a joke. Tim made a joke.
I tried.
Say that again?
No.
No,
it was
good.
bad to repeat.
It was good, and people might have missed it. And instead of them rewinding it, you should do it again.
I said Debenhams. Maybe I should have said Debenhams.
Yeah.
But we should move on swiftly.
Well, let's move on to your story of the week, Tim.
Yeah, so mine is actually about our special guest, Simon, and about the Feeding Families for 30 initiative, which obviously, like you just said, started because of the disastrous packages that the government sent out. And you've also included a whole host of recipes on the website, some kind of simple but fan favourites, I'd say. Dal's my favourite.
Yeah.
When I had a look at them, dal, cottage pie. What else did you have?
We're just talking about the mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah, mac and cheese. And then some more inventive ways of cooking things using
only a microwave or just the kettle.
Yeah.
It's been quite challenging when you talk to food banks and people like Fairshare. The equipment people have at their disposal, it's not just shortage of food, they might not have a stove, they might only have a kettle to work with, and as a chef you can go to all the exotic ingredients that you want, but if you've only got a kettle to cook them with, it doesn't matter what, you've got to be quite clever, and for me as a chef that's challenging. So for someone with no kitchen expertise at all, that's got to be really difficult.
Yeah. So like you mentioned before, it came up on Twitter. You know, the first picture of the boxes that went viral, there was some skeptics, and I was like, is that really what people are getting sent?
Yeah.
And then we saw the second box, and the third box got tweeted, the fourth and the fifth, and you're thinking to yourself, how is this happening? How is this a thing?
Yeah. How
is it being allowed? Marcus Rashford gets involved, so many people like yourself get involved. Does that that give you the idea straight away that you're gonna do this? You're gonna launch this Feeding Families for 30 quid?
Do you know, I got to... You see it the same as everyone else. The guys that down at the social who I'm working with on the campaign saw it as well, and I had a conversation with Daisy, the director there, and we thought we'll get our heads together and just see what we can do and produce a set of simple, go-to, like really easy recipes that people can use and access, not only online, but you know, some people aren't in a position to interact on social media for recipes and things like that. So we've spoke to food banks with what kind of ingredients that they get given. And, you know, we've sent them the recipes so that they can print them off and put them in the parcels so people know what to do. So it was quite a speedy escalation, I think is the only way of putting it, from one quick phone call to all of a sudden we've got a website, we've got, you know, a lot of the Corrie lot are involved, like sending things out. The MasterChef champions are getting involved and sending recipes in, as well as other culinary people from around the, you know, the country, really. So it's been a really good response.
Yeah, that's
really
great.
Wow.
It's great that you acted so quickly instead of just being like, this is a nightmare. Like, you've actually done something about it. It's amazing.
Were these ways of methods you already knew how to do, or were you experimenting in the kitchen with the ingredients and the cooking methods?
I mean, I alluded to it earlier, and it's like that know-how, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I know that I can make a French onion soup with one onion, a microwave, and a stock cube. It won't be the same as a classic French onion soup. But you know what? If that's what you've got in your cupboard and you've got a tap, you can make something to eat that'll last you 2 or 3 meals. So we started messing around with different things, and then I think what really set us on a real upward trajectory was the spam biryani, which honestly,
Can you describe? Can you?
I made it for a joke. I had the stuff in my cupboard and thought, I can make a spam biryani, and that's what happened.
Talk us through the spam biryani then. Let's talk us through even cooking it.
It's just dead simple. Like, it is. You can do it in just a pan, or you can do it in just the oven. It depends what you've got to work with. But literally, it's any kind of rice that you've got. Going off the recipe off the top of my head, 1 tin of garden peas. 2 tablespoons of curry powder. I think it's 400 grams of rice and 1.3 litres of water, and then cube your spam up, and then that's it. Saute your spam, in with your rice, in with your spice, in with the peas, and then water, oven, that's it.
I bet that's nice as well.
I'd give it a go.
I don't mind spam.
It'll feed about 10
Water
people.
and then oven.
Yeah, and I know it's like, spam is what it is, and like it's normally, if I'm honest, like a go-to hangover breakfast, like a spam, egg and cheese muffin or whatever you want to call it. But it was just there in the cupboard, and the spam biryani was born, and next news we're driving around in a van with it on the back and all kinds of different things. So escalated quite quickly.
Guys, it does bring us on to a nice question. What's the hangover breakfast of choice? Do you have one there? If Simon's is the...
My mum always gives me she makes fried rice and puts a big fried egg on top, and she puts liquid seasoning on it. That with a hangover is perfect, and a big or a bit of orange juice. I thought you meant pour it in there. But no, a big on the side, a bit of orange juice. Tim, what's yours? I think you're going to go left field here.
No, you'd be surprised. No, I've got to have a mango Rubicon. If I'm hungover, that's all I need. No, I'd get that, and then I have classic fry up.
Yeah,
need that. Yeah. Quite often, Linda's veggie sausages. The rosemary ones.
Nobody looked.
Everyone close their eyes, pick it up.
Nobody looked.
He just literally looked like he'd laid it on his ass.
Crikey! Snack of the week fell on the floor.
Oh dear.
I didn't see it.
It was like we were in some sort of 60s murder mystery, and I just dropped the murder weapon on the floor. The fuck? How did it? Oh, there's a hole in the back of the seat. That's why.
Don't worry. Just put it on your lap.
I thought you already know what it is now. Snack of the week.
Yeah, so mine's just a classic English breakfast.
I think I'd do the same. I think I'd do the same. Right. Oh, let's just pause the podcast for a second and get a lovely little message from our sponsor here at the Manc, and something that was launched in Manchester, HELIIX by REVIV. This is a COVID management system that's so affordable, and it helps you, a business owner, or if you know a business owner, get workers back into the city. It's all done by this great app, and they take care of everything for you. So you can make sure your workers, your colleagues, your friends even are back in the office, back working, and back doing things safely as well. We know there's still some times ahead of us that we don't know what's going to happen. Let this app do the hard work for you. HELIIX by REVIV. Now, if I'm trying to get the spelling on that, a nice little graphic might come up here with the website. And also, if you're watching it, get into the description of this video to find out more. Make sure you click the link, go through to it, so affordable as well. Let's get Manchester back working. Something that was launched in this city, and we are so proud of them to be our sponsors. Simon, you mentioned Woods, obviously the restaurant on First Street. You have been on social media and on your boxes. I personally had one for my birthday. Thank you very much, Becky, who got it for me, lovely girlfriend. The steak box, you've been doing this since lockdown started, coming up to March, and they've been a big success, haven't they?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me about this, and I've got to be honest, I'm fairly confident we were maybe the first restaurant in the country to start doing it, because within about 16 days, we were like, we need to do something here. We're not a big enough new company with, we're not cash rich or whatever. We've got to get through this and survive, and people want something to do. It then got me thinking, everyone knows it. You only have to look on social media in lockdown. Everyone's a chef. They're all at home telling you what to do with banana bread or whatever it is, and it's everywhere. So I thought, well, why not just give them a real good meal kit that they can put together at home and pretend to be a chef, but actually come our way with a really high-end product. And Wood at Home was born, and then many others followed suit. I had a lot of chefs message me to say, is it working? Where did you get your printing done? And these are like 2 Michelin star chefs that were asking me these questions. So, we was a positive influence in the at-home scene, which is now massive. Everybody's doing it.
Did you find
great
it
idea.
like an easy way of taking your amazing cooking and putting it into like these little boxes for people to try, or is it tough?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm not going to lie. At one point in my life, I had 3 under 5s. Right? Wood at Home is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Right. Oh, wow.
It's relentless. With what we do, the fine dining, each dish can maybe have 9 elements. Then you get into the pots, and then rightly so, the people are talking about the plastic and the environment, and it's like, I can only do one thing at once. No one's working. There's no boxes left. There's no bubble wrap. There's no pots. There's no bags. Suppliers can't pick vegetables because there's no one there to go and do it. And the challenges along the way have been way more than the food. It's a logistical nightmare, but it's worth it. It's rewarding in the end, but it's took us a year. It's like starting a new business. It's not what we do. I'd rather do a Saturday night service on my own than Wood at Home without like a reasonable team around you to do it.
It must be nice seeing people's final products and them being chuffed with it at home though.
Yeah, the interaction's been good. When people show you a picture or send it and tell you a story, like you just had a box there and you're telling me you had it for your birthday and you really enjoyed it, and you get a lot of that, which is great. It's really rewarding that you're brightening people's lockdown, if you like, because if people are abiding by the rules as they should be, then there isn't a great deal to do. And cooking a meal at home on Saturday night, we give you squeezy bottles so you can be a chef, you get your own plates so that you can do your tasting menu and stuff like that. So, we even did a playlist at one point. We've done all sorts to try and make it interactive and enjoyable for people, like they were in the restaurant.
Yeah, indeed.
It's been good.
So we all made, how was our cooking during lockdown? Did you increase your cooking skills?
Yeah.
Why are you looking like that stuff? Can you
I live with my mum, so she does all the cooking.
You need to start learning some of those Filipino recipes.
I know, yeah.
What can you cook?
do.
Have you learned anything from your mum?
You've got to be able to do an adobo. You've eaten it 100,000 times.
Yeah, because my mum makes it. I don't know how to cook it. I feel like I'd give myself food poisoning, so...
So you just...
We'll try one day, yeah.
Because I was going to get on to, if we've all been making banana bread, what have you been making, Tim?
All sorts. I'm trying to think what I've learned that's new. My favourite one is a beer-battered cod tacos with chipotle chipotle cream on it. And
sounds good.
They're just like little. They're just like
banana bread offering, wasn't it?
Sorry,
that was a level up from my banana bread offering.
And a habanero slaw.
Impressive.
That's unbelievable. Well, my question was going to be, because of all of us normal people cooking banana bread, but then Tim comes out of the water, so he's cooking that. Have you cooked anything new, different? Then when you've got I know it's maybe not got enough time on your hands because of the boxes, but has it led you to experiment with anything?
Do you know what? I started doing it because I've got the time. I started like making a lot of charcuterie in the restaurant, making my own like salamis and chorizos and cured meats. And then started messing around, and we were doing it before anyway. But lacto fermentation with different products, and
What's that? Can you explain that?
And lacto fermentation is so you take, for example, the one good thing that's really exceptional. If you get a kilo of shiitake mushrooms, and then I vat pack them and freeze them. Overnight, take them out, let them defrost, and then weigh them. And by weight, add 2% salt. Then you store them, you backpack it again and store them at a temperature, that's conducive to fermentation. And all of a sudden, within 7 to 10 days, depending on the temperature, you get this liquid that comes out of them. And it makes them taste like garlic mushrooms, but it's just a mushroom. And you can use that to season stocks and sauces and different things like that. So we started doing it with that, and then we're doing it with all kinds of different things, and it's right the way across the menu now. Like I've got venison with cocoa and fermented blueberry as the main course now, which in your head you might think, well, that's chocolate, blueberry and meat, which you're going to think that's weird, but it changes the complexity of the flavours, and all of a sudden you've got a really balanced, interesting dish. So spent a lot of time doing that.
Nice. Gets a bit scientific, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much
really.
so.
Tim, is it time that we get your favourite feature on the table and we
I think
execute
it could be. I think it's time for snack of the week.
Bob, Bob.
Snack of the week.
Bob, Bob. Oh, look, we've even got a logo for it and everything.
There we go.
Snack of the week. So this is where Tim gets us to go and route our cupboards, all the shops for a wonderful snack.
Yes. And then our guest, Simon Wood, is going to pick who's got the best snack.
Oh no.
Based on pretty much whatever you like.
Before we get into it, before we put our snacks on the table, what are your favourite snacks? Popcorn?
Charcuterie.
96 calories.
Yeah, I like a bit of charcuterie, but no, I'm more of a savoury person, I think, than sweet a lot of the time. I do have the occasional sweet thing, but I like snacks, peanuts.
Interesting.
Peanut fan, wasabi peas.
Oh
things
yeah,
like that.
with the crunchy coating.
Damn, I should have bought
Little
some.
pretzels with the salty bits stuck on. Quite cool.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm like drinking beer or wine when I'm having it.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
that's kind of a go-to little nibble that I'll go for.
Should I get mine out the way?
Yeah, we've all
We've all
seen it. So.
yeah.
Welcome everyone to this is healthy because I'm trying to be healthy, my wonderful sweet and salted popcorn. A delicious packet of 82 calories per pack.
Healthy.
Delight.
I do like that. Do you like it?
Is it sweet and
Delight.
salty?
It's sweet and salty. What can I tell
Okay.
you about this? Oh, crunchy. Oh,
And a bit of both worlds.
a
isn't it,
bit
there?
of both
Sweet
worlds.
and savoury.
Oh, do you get any ones that aren't popped at the end of the bag so you can play about with them in
Break
the
your
top of
teeth.
it?
That's why
Great
they're good.
fun. Yeah, they are good fun. I love them, mate.
There's no
I love
teeth
them.
breakers in there.
Great fun. That is going to be this week's snack of the week, and I don't think either of these two could beat me.
Big words.
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Okay, so mine's actually a sweet offering. It's from my cupboard at home.
Right.
So the packages are very good because I've eaten two of them.
Is that in a McDonald's bag?
It was 4 custard donuts.
Hold on, you've brought 2 custard donuts remaining. So you've devoured half of your snack already.
Yeah,
That's how good they are.
exactly. That's why I did it. I ate one for you, 2. But yeah, sugary, custardy.
Oh.
What is wrong with that?
As donuts go, they're bottom of the barrel. I've got to say.
Don't
Straight in
take
with the
that.
disc.
Don't take that. What about jam? Are you not? Would you vibe?
I do
jam?
like a jam, but I prefer the custard ones. I don't know what it is.
Simon.
I'm not a donut fan. I really wanted
I
it.
tell you what,
Damn it.
popcorn's in the lead so far.
The custard, I've had one once with custard and apple in, like apple sauce, and that was really tasty.
Yeah.
Has
That
there
was
got any
good.
apple in?
No.
Bottom of the
But you
pile.
could put
Just custard.
apple sauce on the top out of the cupboard.
that'd be
Improvise,
don't know about
exactly.
Would you? I think I trust Simon. He said,
Yeah,
"Oh, I don't know
as
about
soon
that."
as I said it, I was like, another sec.
Let's go.
Right.
There's something
back.
good in
No,
there.
there is.
I'm going to
This
win
is
this.
a taco.
Oh, if only.
habanero.
Now,
Taco with
Simon,
habanero slaw.
I follow you on Instagram, Simon. I'm not a stalker,
Hop.
but I follow you on Instagram. I know you like a pint of Guinness
Yeah.
when you're relaxing
Oh, here we
sometimes.
go.
And what I've brought here is the perfect accompaniment to a pint of Guinness. It's cheese and onion baked crinklies.
I'm not going to lie, right? This is a true story. When I was reading the recipe about lacto fermentation in the book that I was researching from, my bookmark is actually an empty packet of them. And I'm not even lying. I've got a picture of it
How
somewhere.
do you know that? You
Mind reader.
You're taking snack of the week
Wow.
too far.
There we
Tim.
go.
There's a
And it
green
is a
tea
top
going in.
tier crisp
Yeah,
as well.
It is. It's
So-
an excellent crisp.
So now comes the time, Simon, that you have to decide, I'm afraid,
There's only
who
one
has
winner.
won.
There's only one winner.
Oh,
Yes!
you
Well done,
First
Tim.
time, thank you. And that is
Well
a
done.
present for you, Chef, if
Thank
you wish to
very
take
much.
it.
Share 'em. We'll get some little bones.
Okie dokes. Brilliant. I finally won my own.
Whatever.
Ah, thank you.
Simon, some people follow your journey and follow you and know what you're about, but for those maybe who are just learning about yourself, I mean, you grew up in Great Manchester. How was growing up in Great Manchester as an aspiring chef?
Do you know, it was good. The one thing that I like Dad died when I was young, so we grew up with Mum, and then teas were very basic. Like I guess you'd call it Manchester teas, chippy on a Friday, fish fingers, chips and peas on a Tuesday, with one side of the fish finger burnt and then turned over, so you didn't know. Finder's crispy pancake, all the stuff that people have, you know, egg and bacon or whatever it was, and you know, classic tater ash and stuff like that that loads of kids I expect my age, like, and probably still do, like that. That's what they get. So, yeah, as far as like culinary delights, it probably was very basic, but then I'd go to my grandma's at the weekend and she'd have different things because she was obviously older, and that's where I'd start to see things like tripe for the first time, and you'd be like, what's that? And then you get told, and I was one of them weird kids that went, let's have a go then. Not and I've always been like that, so that's good, like rabbit and things like that. So that's where some of my chef influence comes from. And then when I was 8, I was in Boys Brigade, and they were asking everyone in the regiment or whatever it's called, the brigade. There was a competition going on, and you could be anything for a day. And like all my mates were going, I want to be a footballer, I want to be an astronaut, I want to drive a train. And realistically, an 8-year-old's never going to be able to go and do any of these things. And I said I wanted to be a chef, and I ended up going to this kitchen to be a chef for the day, and then that's where that started. And then, you know, life kind of took over, and I got a job at McDonald's like a lot of people when I was 16, and then money was better. Then I ended up having children at a far too young age, which is good now because I've got mates that I consider myself to be their age and not them mine. So you know, we have a good relationship with all the lads and enjoy the same music and stuff. So as far as my food journey, it didn't really start until I was maybe 37.
Oh, really?
I always cooked, messed around, did people's weddings, buffets, the odd paid job while working as a data scientist, bizarrely. No one ever grows up thinking, I think I'm going to be a data scientist.
In a way, does that help when you talked about your cooking ability?
Yeah, because it's very methodical, and there's science and process. And one of the biggest things about owning your own business, any business, not just kitchen, is costs and expenses. So I've got to know how much that one piece of venison cost me compared to everything else that it goes through to get it on the plate, to know whether it's worth me making that dish or not. So that kind of thing does help, but then eventually you start to get a feel for that without fiddling around with it, and then ingredients take over. We talked about truffle before we started today, and you know, White Albert truffles, £4,900 a kilo or whatever it is, and you know, people say, why is this tasty menu so expensive? And then you say, well, that's why, you know, different things like that. So
elements cost so much.
So then when did it turn then? You say you were 37, and you're still cooking and doing all that?
Like budding chef, really enthusiastic, all the like nice knives, good cookbooks, loads of inspiration, visiting nice restaurants, and then all of a sudden my boss he got on me wick one morning, and I walked into an email that I didn't enjoy, so I shut my emails and I started messing around on Facebook. At 7 o'clock it was, and Ping, who's actually done a recipe for the Feeding Families, had just won MasterChef. I think it was the week before and stuff. And I was always one of them people, and you get on for whatever TV show, you know, why is he singing that song? Why aren't they doing this? Why are they cooking that? Why are they juggling this? And it's all the shows that people talk about. But I was one of the people that sat at home thinking, I'm better than him, better than them. I can do that. That's awful. Being that thingy. And I lost my temper with this email and applied in temper. That was it. I'd always been the person that wouldn't put his money where his mouth was, and then all of a sudden I was, and off I went. And the first time of applying, there's a chain of events that leads you to getting on the show, but I got through all those, and then that was it. First time in and won it, you know. So.
It's all right story, that is. What was the family's reaction to, or your family's reaction to it?
Well, they didn't know. They all knew that I liked food, but they didn't know I'd won. I didn't tell anyone. There's only me and the people in the room.
All the way to the final?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There was only me and the people in the room that day that knew I'd won. Obviously, there's the backstory, so they came up to film the kids and that, and like the kid's mum knew she had to sign the release form, and she used to watch MasterChef with me when we're together, so she knows at that point, well, if they're coming up to the house, there must be something going on, but she didn't know what. I winged it as much as I could with the company that I was working with, and kept having like the sick day to go filming in Stockholm.
Oh, wow.
Things like that.
Amazing.
And then it got to the point in
unbelievable.
People thought I was ill. And they're like, if anything's wrong, you can come and talk to us. And it's like, oh no, it's a long story, best left untold.
Yeah. And it's giving me this Swedish tinge on my accent.
Yeah. Then I started like taking my holidays, and then my boss has got me in and said, look, you're having a lot of time off. Is everything okay? So at this point, I had to spill the beans, and I made out I was having this like massive personal crisis, and then said, but in other news, I've been asked to go on MasterChef. By this time, I was in the final. I know it's really cheeky and this isn't the forum for it, but I think it'd really help me if you'd let me just take next Wednesday off, whatever day it was. Yeah. And that was the finals week. So I went and filmed the final and won it, and I never went back and worked another day in the office. And not gonna lie, I went back for an exit interview, and they said, "Well, so why are you leaving?" And it was like, "Because I've won MasterChef." Yeah, and that was that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Incredible. Yeah.
So the final episode comes on TV. Still none of your family.
There's like Marie, the kid's mum, had that inkling that something's going on because they've been to film, but nobody knew.
Do you keep a straight face? Who did you watch the final with?
MasterChef paid for. They hired in Manchester. It was the Hotel Aurora at the time. Okay. Just near Chinatown, and they got a room there with a screen in, and we arranged some champagne and stuff. And I got all my work colleagues who I'd been lying to duplicitously for months on end, and then the family was all there, and mum and everyone, and we watched the final.
They must have known something was going on.
Yeah, by that time they already knew I was in the final, so they knew I had a chance of winning.
Yeah.
I remember that night. It was like I've been really good all night. My biggest fear, because there's a 3-month gap between winning and it being shown on TV.
Right.
It's quite a long time.
Yeah, so I've been back at my day job,
and you're still keeping that to yourself.
But no one knows I'm on it at this point. And it's all that had gone on. They thought my personal crisis was over. I didn't get very far at MasterChef. It was all done. They don't know that the time. Like everyone thinks it's like the next day or whatever. It's live or whatever. So I'd done really well, and up until about 10 minutes before the announcement, and then I started drinking champagne like this because I was nervous. And it wasn't the fact I was nervous about winning. You have no TV training at all. And I knew in the morning that I'm sat on the red sofa on BBC Breakfast, having never been on live TV before, never been on the news, on the front page of the paper, and that was I didn't care about anything else in the room. I knew I'd won. It was old news to me. This was like 3 months ago. It's not new. Everyone's elated and going mental, and I'm just getting leathered basically because I'm worried about being on the telly in the morning. So it's like,
oh god!
And that was the day. Yeah.
How did it go? That BBC.
I had my hangover breakfast.
Oh yeah,
of course you did. Did you have spam?
Rubicon?
No, it was actually I stayed at Media City, and it was in the hotel with the Bar Up Here white restaurant in it. I just had breakfast in there before I went to do it.
That's crazy. What a story. And what happened? So you win it, and then what happens? What was your journey then to opening awards?
So I did some stages at different restaurants around the country. I did a bit of time at Marcus Waring's restaurants, Treadwell's, the Barclay, in Gilbert Scott, and then I went to Theo Randall at Park Lane in Mayfair, and then there was all of a sudden you're in this life where you've got an agent. I was living out of a suitcase in my agent's house in Chiswick, which was like everything's weird, and you're not earning any money at that point. You're doing this working for free to apply your trade and learn, and I needed to come home basically. So I came home and I did a bit of time at Simon Rimmer's Greens restaurant.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It's a good restaurant.
So I went there for a bit, and then I got talking to one person and another, and I started to just do recipes, food shows, different bits and bobs. And then I went to, I'm an Oldham Athletic fan, which probably shouldn't dwell on too much because I fell out with people there. Not all of them, just the current owner.
Just go.
And the clowns that run it with him. But I got offered the position of like an executive chef role in the new stand that they got there. Doing mass catering for match days, players' foods, dietitians. I was working with David Dunn at the time. And I got to open a pop-up restaurant called The Boardroom, as well as learning to cook when you're cooking for Saturday match day is the food's got to be done by 1:30 because the kickoff's at 3:00.
Yeah.
So you get used to working with that deadline. There's only 3 of us doing 600 people, 3 courses, different buffet boxes, the refs, the players, the boardroom, and it's like it builds you up when you're not used to it. If you worked in data science, that's not something you ever do. And then I met my business partner, and we got talking about the restaurant, and then we opened Manchester, we opened Chester, which sadly we closed during lockdown. There was no choice. And then we opened Woodcraft, the Artisan Eatery down in Cheltenham. So, you know, I could say in the past 12 months, I've operated a restaurant with the first ever lot of home delivery. I've lost a restaurant, and then I've had one that's available for takeaway, working in a different tier to Manchester. So I've seen all sides of COVID in hospitality. So I've got quite a balanced opinion on the nonsense that's surrounded it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Nice.
And this plan might be there, and you might are you ready for when things go back to normal? You want it. I bet you're wanting it more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got big ambitions for Manchester. I want to achieve good things with my restaurant there. It's a different concept to Cheltenham. I do envisage at some point I want to open Woodcraft in Manchester, because I think it'll be absolutely mega. We do breakfast, brunch, Sunday lunch. It's a different animal to the fine dining restaurant that we've got. But I have huge aspirations, and I want accolades for myself and the restaurant in Manchester. I opened with changes. They were good. We then had to close. I've since thought on, and I can make it better. I've wrote new menus. We cater. It's all tasty menu. We do 5, 7, and 10 courses, standard, vegetarian, pescatarian, and vegan. So we cover all bases. Your 10 courses starts with your journey in the lounge, where you get 2 or 3 snacks with your welcome drink. Then you go to the table, where you're presented with bread and snacks or different things. So you've already had 5 courses before you get your first course on your 10-course journey. There's then a couple of surprises along the way, along with crossover courses, something that takes your palate from savoury into sweet for your dessert, and then your petit fours and coffees and things like that at the end. So a 10-course menu is probably 16 or so, all said and done, and we cater, like I say, for pretty much every dietary under the sun. There's not much that we can't do. Gluten-free, we have one lovely couple that come in that can't eat any cooked vegetables, and we try and do our very best for them, which is a challenge. Sometimes we can't do 10 because I want it to be of a standard. But we're quite an agile restaurant, and we're of a really high standard. So that's the plan, is to build on that and, you know, be up there with the very, very best in Manchester.
Amazing. I came at the end of last year, and it was so good. My girlfriend's birthday. Really good. Loved it.
On one of your things that you brought before, as such someone who cooks some amazing food, you worked in McDonald's. Could you eat McDonald's still? And if you can, do you have a go-to
I had it
meal?
this week.
Being working in there, do you have a go-to?
I always like, if I'm there's a couple of things I go to. I like 2 hamburgers with a small fry split between them, and then a sweet and sour sauce on each one.
Nice.
You're even experimenting in a McDonald's.
Do you know what it is?
That's the tasting menu of McDonald's, isn't it? Just split up.
Do you know what? It does work, and I found this out when I worked there. I don't know if this, because I don't like donuts, but I must have used to eat them at some point.
If you're going to say, what are you going to say?
You know the chocolate ring donut?
Yeah.
That, but dip it in the McDonald's curry sauce.
Hang on.
Hang on a second.
Cinnamon in it, and it works really well.
It's umami.
Yeah,
I tell you what, we have got to the next podcast. I know you might not be with us. We've got to get that. We have to try it.
It's random, but I've done it at some, because
we will try that for you, Simon.
Tasting everything, and that's one of the things that happened when I worked there.
I thought he was going to say put it on a burger or use it as a burger bun or something.
They can be a bit chaotic. Them.
I'm not a fan of a freaky burger like that. I like a standard. My burger should be like, I'm going to name drop, like the famous burger, where it's just dead classic, dead simple. And that's my go-to. I don't want mac and cheese on my burger with bits of bacon and a hash brown and an onion ring with a pizza, with a doner kebab, with a donut on the top. That's not a burger.
With a few Cheetos sprinkled frazzles.
So when you won MasterChef and you have got your own restaurant, do you know when you get invited to parties and stuff like that, is there a sense of people trying to please you with the cooking, or is there some people are nervous? Simon's coming,
no one
crikey.
cooks for you anymore.
No, they're not.
No, very rarely. Family will, because they don't care. But if you're like trying to, you go to someone's house for dinner, or it's they'll come over with something and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." I'm fine. I'm just happy someone's made me something that I haven't had to do myself, and I'm, more importantly, not stood up over a bin eating it in the kitchen, which is usually how I have my dinner.
So just explain that. So it's a busy night at Woods. Are you eating what you can, or do you eat afterwards, or how does that work?
No, we try and have a well-being factor around the restaurant. When we open, we'll only do 4 days a week, 3 days off, 4 days, in the kitchen. And they might be long days, but you've had 3 days to recover, and that's the nature of the industry. There's no avoiding that. We provide 2 staff meals a day, so they get breakfast, varying things.
I
Could
have
be full
seen your
English.
breakfast.
Yeah, they look
could
good.
Be yogurt,
Looks
could
good.
be all sorts. It just depends. And then we do at 4 o'clock in between services when we're open for lunch and dinner. We do a staff meal. But if basically if you're in the weeds and you haven't got or you're not ready, then you might get a quick bowl of something stood over the pot wash and then put it down and carry on with what you're doing. And that's every kitchen in the country more often than not will be the same.
Is it like that?
Yeah, it's just the way it is. You might have nowhere to sit and eat it. There's people still in the restaurant, so you sit on a pan or on the back stairs, and that's it. And that's the same for me or the KP or whoever it is. It doesn't matter. It's just the nature of sometimes that's the day.
Yeah.
I love that. Are you ready for something we put our special guests to the test?
Challenge.
It is called Mastermind. Look at that. We've got logos galore. Now,
That's certainly bigger than mine. Might be the same colour though.
These are 5 questions that you have unlimited phone of friends to call, but unfortunately your friends are Tim and Steph.
Okay.
Questionable knowledge.
Questionable knowledge of
Say the
Manchester.
least.
It's 5 simple questions. A couple of them are a bit, you're going to have to think. I think the first one is, I think you can call both of them at the same time to get a vibe of it.
Is that hard?
Mastermind question number 1. Greater Manchester consists of how many boroughs?
Oh, God.
Oh, blimey.
Come on, we can do it. Let's start call friends. Let's start saying them out loud. Let's get a counting going.
Do you want me to say one out loud?
Go on.
Trafford?
Are you counting, Tim?
No, I was thinking, sorry.
Let's go.
Oh, no.
Oldham, Rochdale, Tameside.
Are Oldham Rochdale 1, 2?
No, 3.
Oldham,
Four.
Rochdale,
I think
Tameside,
it's about.
Is
I'm gonna
Bury
say
one?
about Bury, yeah.
Trafford. Did you say Trafford first?
Yeah.
I reckon it's about 12.
12?
Are you going to count all the 12 out, Tim?
No.
I should really know this, but I
I
don't.
think that's a good
I
guess.
think I should know it. I'm going to say 12.
I think that's a good guess.
It is a good guess.
12 is a good guess. Right, but it is only 10. Are you ready for
We had
them?
an
I thought it was
extra
14.
Let's do them. Bolton, Wigan, Bury, Rochdale, Oldham, Salford, Manchester itself,
Yeah.
Tameside, Stockport, Trafford. There you go. There's your 10. You got well. I'd love to know what the other 2 you're thinking of, guys.
Don't ask me.
Don't ask you. Question is a food one. Well, a drink one. So, being the home of Vimto, the main 3 fruit juices that are used to make Vimto as delicious as it is. I need the fruits.
3.
Oh, do you know, I had a violet and Vimto macaron on my menu. So it tastes like a Parma violet, but mixed in with Vimto.
Nice.
And I researched this to
Yeah?
know what it was, and I can't remember. I think it's
You can guess.
Go on, shout one out.
blackcurrant,
Tick,
grape,
tick.
Oh!
red currant. No.
You should know.
Raspberry.
Raspberry.
Can I have that one? There we go.
Point for that. Give
So
me a point
close.
for that. In which decade was the Mancunian Way opened?
Decade.
These are getting harder,
Which
these
decade?
questions.
No, I'm running out. In which decade was the Mancunian Way opened?
Not got a clue.
Is it? See, I think maybe it's quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1960s.
Oh, you going with the 60s? It is correct. It was the 60s.
Well
Tim. He's absolutely smashing this. Right, here's a tricky one. How tall in meters?
No.
I'm going to give you an A, B, or C.
All right, thank
How tall in meters is the Beetham Tower, the big Hilton one? 154, 168, or 180?
you. 180.
What we going for?
Oh, I've had this question in the quiz before.
Can we have those again, please?
Okay, one second.
And I got it wrong.
Please, Master.
I still can't remember what I
One
said.
second. I think I've lost it. Right, no, I've not. How tall is the Beetham Tower? You know that bit, obviously.
Yeah.
154 metres.
154.
168 metres or 180 metres. What are we going for, guys? What are
I
we?
think 168.
I'll have
for
to
one.
agree.
You're going for
Don't
168.
No comment.
What are you going for?
I would say 154.
Go for 154. Let me just double check. I've lost it. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
It is 168. He's
Oh.
done it. He's done it. He's done it. He's done
Well
it.
done.
We're going to get a full house here. So, opened in 2014, Home Cinema replaced which
Oh, I know.
city centre cinema?
It's the corner. Corner House.
The Corner House, 4 out of 5.
Well done.
Absolutely smashing Simon Wood and Mastermind. Well done. You two are no bloody help. Poor Simon here, grafting.
Hey.
And then you two are
I'm useless.
You know this is coming every week. And do you do your research?
No.
Poor Simon.
Wing it.
I'm sorry to let you down, Simon.
You didn't. We won.
Thank
I
you.
think I won. I'm only playing against myself. So
There you go.
Yeah. So we are coming to the end of the podcast, but I just want to get more about what's the future for Simon Wood and for the Feeding Families for 30. You know, what we're going to see next.
I think let's concentrate on the Feeding Families thing. I mean, that's something that's really important. It's not going away. There's lots of other things that we need to highlight about, and it's not just about getting food into food banks and things like that. It's about educating people on what you can do with it. Not depending on takeaway, not buying jarred sauces. You know, what is a balanced meal? People just don't understand. I made a 3-ingredient teriyaki chicken, and someone was like booting off because they're saying, well, I'll have to buy rice and then some chips to go with that. And it's like, but why do you need both? That's not a balanced meal.
Yeah.
Have some rice, which will cost you 8 pence, and some broccoli, which will cost you 10 with the chicken. And you've got a really nutritional, balanced meal, but people don't know that. So I think that's a message that's important. The other side of it, and it's probably going further than my remit, but you can help raise awareness, and that's fuel poverty, because if you can't afford a tin of beans, I'm pretty sure you can't afford to cook them. You know, and that's the harsh reality of what we're dealing with here. So that side of things needs to be highlighted. But on a more cheery note, you know, we are Feeding Families for 30. They've got the vouchers from the government now rather than the diabolical boxes. You know, with a little bit of guidance and knowledge, they can maybe go out there and buy some ingredients and try some new things. The kids are at home. I mean, you're reading it everywhere. Homeschooling's a nightmare by the sounds of it. I take my daughter into the kitchen in the restaurant. She's 12, and she comes every Tuesday. She comes and does a day with me.
Oh, amazing.
Nice.
You know, she does her schoolwork.
Food tech.
Yeah, and
The
that's
best
what it
food
is.
tech you'll ever do.
But it's not a broad enough subject now, and there's people now that just can't cook.
Yeah.
That's why Just Eat and places like that are going mental, because it's so much easier. You know, jarred sauces, instead of buying 1 tin of curry powder and some coconut milk or whatever, you can make 20 meals with that. Whereas with 1 jar of sauce, you can make 1 and it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's got additives and everything else in. You're in control and you can feed your family nutritiously. So I think it's about highlighting that, you know, in the long term, not just this initial campaign. This is always going to be here, sadly, by the look of it. And it's about reaching into the government, people like you mentioned to Marcus earlier on. You know, we need to get these kind of recipes and ideas with the vouchers. You know, have you seen this? Supermarkets have got a part to play. The vouchers can all be spent there. You know, make it affordable for different things. Why don't you, like, I think Morrison's do it, but they have like I don't know what you call it, like a buggered up veg box.
Yeah, a wonky box they call it.
That's it. That's much better than what I said. The wonky box. And it's like there's a box of all kinds of different things that you can take home and then go, right, what can I do with it? But without that culinary expertise or knowledge, you don't know.
Yeah.
So we're not just helping people with like getting food in the cupboard. We're teaching them what to do with it, what's balanced. I've wrote 3 recipes in the past week where you can make an evening meal and then carry it over into leftovers for the next day. The cottage pie toasty was monumental.
Cottage pie toasty.
But think about it. Everyone says that. Oh, well, that's a bit weird. Cottage pie toasty.
No, that sounds amazing.
But every time you're having a cottage pie, how many times do you get a slice of Wobbies and butter it and then dip it in? What's the difference between having a toasty? It's just, you're getting another meal out of it.
Supermarkets used to do, like, there was a point in the supermarket you could go in and they had physical recipe cards that you could get. So I don't see why they can't bring those back.
There is. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But how many of them? And you know, they do have a place. I get that. People have fast-paced lives and they haven't got time or inclination in some instances. But it's all, something like that is generally, in my opinion, a lot of packet stuff. And then if that's what people want to use, then that's fine. But I think you can make your money go further by having a decent store cupboard and learning what to do with a kilogram of flour and some yogurt and a tiny bit of baking powder. Because all of a sudden, you can make all kinds of different things. Learning what to do with leftover mashed potato. You know, mashed potato, 500 grams of mashed potato, 100 grams of flour, it can be gluten-free if you want, and 1 egg can make you gnocchi, it can make you potato cakes, it can make you fish cakes. You know?
I did gnocchi for the first time 2 weeks ago and I was just astonished at how easy it was.
Yeah,
like,
there's so, like
thought it'd be dead hard.
those 3 ingredients, you can make breakfast, lunch and dinner for 4 people for 3 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's about learning how to do that.
Yeah.
But from a personal perspective, not just the feeding the families thing, I want to, enhance the restaurant experience that we provide in Manchester, and hopefully push towards the accolades that I'm passionate about. So that's my goal.
Yeah.
That's your goal. And people just to get involved, just to follow your journey on
follow
socials.
Us at Simon J. Wood UK, and then we've got Feeding Families for 30.co.uk.
Oh, amazing.
No, it's not that. Nice. It's Feeding Families with SimonWood.co.uk.
Feeding Families with SimonWood.co.uk.
Sorry, I said that wrong last time.
I'm sure that link will be somewhere in the description, so get in the links.
Yeah, all the recipes are there. And I've said this before as well, I leave a lot of my DMs open. I can't get through to everyone, but I do more often than not try.
Yeah.
And if someone says, I've got 3 tins of chickpeas, a can of coconut milk, and some Madras curry powder, I'll tell them what to do with it if they don't know. They might have just been given it by the food bank and think, what do I do with this? I have no clue. Yeah. And they might not even have social media, so that's where the recipe needs to go in. But we're trying to tick every box that we can, and it's a big box to tick. So
you're doing amazing work, and it's pleasure to have you on. Pleasure to spread the message. Please go and learn more. And if you didn't know about it, go and get into the description below, and read up about it and see if you can do anything to help as well, because it's been wonderful to have you on speaking. And then go check out your Woods box, because I've heard in the grapevine there's a Valentine's Day one.
There is.
I forgot that's coming up.
Need to be quick.
Oh, it might already be sold
with
out,
Lauren
guys.
Perrier and they're flying out.
Might already be sold out. Be quick, be rapid. But thank you very much, Simon, for coming on.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Steph, thank you for being wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Can I have a custard donut after this?
No.
I'm not even going to speak to you.
Crinkly
I think you cheated. I think you stalked Simon's Instagram. Saw a packet of
right
DM'd
there in the Noma Guide to
him.
Fermentation book. He's sticking out at the top.
Well, cheers for being wonderful as well, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you. Make sure you...
What? No, total fluke.
Total fluke?
Yeah,
Total
genuinely thought, what's going to go with a pint of Guinness? And I saw them in the shop last night and was like, hello.
Okay, then you deserve to win.
I do.
Well done.
For once.
This has been the Manc Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube if you're watching, or if you are listening to our wonderful Apple streams, Spotify stream, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are back next week. Thank you very much for listening. Do you want to all say goodbye at the same time? 3, 2, 1. Bye. Goodbye. Bye. Are you clapping as well?
Yeah.
I know there's a clap. Bye, clap. Not bye, clap if you call
Amazing.
clap. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Simon. That was
chat.
wonderful.
Cheers, Simon.
Thank you, everyone.
That's a wrap.